Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make guacamole, the only proper, correct, historically accurate way to make guacamole. If you don't follow these steps exactly with these ingredients, it is not guacamole, it is some sort of other avocado dip thing. First off, you need avocados. If you don't like avocados, you need to seek medical attention right now because something is wrong with you. When picking an avocado, the size doesn't really matter. If you go with a smaller avocado, you'll just need more. What's important is that they're ripe. To check for ripeness, you want to give the avocado just a gentle squeeze, and there should be just very little give. If the avocado is rock hard, you have to wait a couple days. If it's really squishy, it's going to be all black inside and it's going to be gross. So once you've got your avocados, you need a sharp knife. And we're going to start by cutting off the part where the stem used to be. Then take your knife, hold the avocado in your hand like this with the cut side up, and right in the center, slide the knife in and gently rotate the avocado so that you can cut all the way around. Twist, and the avocado should open. You can see this one. Because I'm so great at picking avocados, this one is perfectly ripe. Take your chef's knife, choke up on the blade a little bit so you can have better control. And then right in the center of the pit, pop the blade in and give it a twist. If your avocado wasn't perfectly ripe, the pit would stick to the flesh, and when you twist it, you'd rip a bunch of the avocado out. Discard the pit. Quarter your halves, and then just scoop those into your mixing bowl. The common question is, how many avocados do I need? The correct answer is, as many as you can afford. Now, if you watch cooking shows, you might see on some show where they'll do it slightly differently. They are wrong. This method goes back thousands and thousands of years through the Mayans. It's handed down generation after generation. And if you know your history, you'll know that several hundred years ago, the Mayan Empire disappeared. Popular theory is that it had something to do with the Spaniards. That is incorrect. The Mayans disappeared because somebody thought they could change the recipe to guacamole. They were wrong, and the jungle devoured them. Now this is the point where the avocados are ready to be mashed. With some methods that you'll see, they add all the ingredients together and then mash them. That is stupid. If you put all of your ingredients in together and then mash, you're going to end up with bruised onions and smashed tomatoes. It'll be gross. Do not do that. Do not make that mistake. Just with a potato masher or a fork, mash it up so that it's mostly smooth, but with a little bit of chunkiness left. Just like that. That is perfect. Set that aside. Grab your tomatoes. You want Roma tomatoes for this. Don't use beef steaks or any of those others. Romas have less juice, so you get more of the meat of the tomato into your guacamole, and you'll have a better consistency. Remove this piece. And when you're slicing the tomatoes, don't make big chunks. This isn't food for elephants. Do nice, consistent, small cubes of tomato. If your tomatoes are extra juicy, just kind of gently coax some of that tomato juice out. Not enough to smash the tomatoes. You still want them to look good. Just enough to get rid of the extra juice. Okay, that's probably enough tomato for this batch. I'm going to clean the board. Next is the onion. Either a white or a purple onion, not a yellow. Yellow onions are great, not for guacamole. Remove the outer skin. Carefully run a couple slices almost all the way through, but not completely through. You don't want to go through the root because that will help hold it all together so you can finish. Then do a few cuts this direction towards the root. And now come down here and we create our dice. Scoop in your onion. Now some recipes will try to give you exact amounts to put in, exact measurements for each ingredient. Be very wary of those recipes. They are going to be wrong. Guacamole is art. You don't go up to the Mona Lisa and go, oh, this needs a dash more, this doesn't have a quarter cup of this. No. It was made by an artist. It was done perfectly. So you have to look for the right balance of colors from your different ingredients. That's pretty good for this part. Notice I stirred, I did not mash. Next, jalapeno. If you're a wimp, I suppose you could skip this, but you really shouldn't. You don't need a lot of jalapeno. You're not trying to make this really spicy like a nice hot sauce. Just enough to give it some character. Next is garlic. You're going to want like 2 fat cloves for a batch this size at a minimum. Smash the garlic. Chop the garlic very finely. Alternatively, you could use a food processor to mince the garlic, but this way is better. Why? Because I said so. Alright, now for the controversial part. An entire bunch of cilantro. Some people will say cilantro is optional. They'll say they don't like it, it tastes like aluminum or soap. Don't listen to those people. They are terrible, terrible, soulless people. They're not even people. I don't know what they are, but they're not people. You need to wash your cilantro first. Cut it off just above the wrap. Take all of that, fold it over, leaves and stems included. Hold it down and then do sort of a chiffonade. You want to cut it very, very fine so we get a nice, even distribution. And if you leave the leaves too large, it's going to make it harder to get the right amount of guacamole on your chip or whatever you want. There we go. Perfect. Throw that in. The next thing is lime juice. Not lemon juice, lime juice. In a pinch, you can go with the bottled stuff, but don't. Do it this way, because I said so. And don't try to do the little squeeze where you act like you're Superman and squeeze. You're not gonna get like half the juice out. Spend $5, get one of these citrus squeezers. You want all of the juice. The lime is jealous. The lime is selfish. It doesn't want to give up its juice. You have to take it. Okay, salt and pepper. Don't use pre-ground pepper, that's disgusting. Get a grinder, grind your own pepper. Salt. Now the salt, you're going to have to taste as you go to get the right amount, because depending on how ripe all of the different ingredients are as they come together, the amount of salt you're going to need is going to vary. And the secret ingredient, and remember I said these ingredients are not optional. This is a recipe going back millions and millions of years. Cholula. It has to be Cholula hot sauce. Not Tapatio, not Tabasco, not any of that other stuff. It has to be Cholula. This is what the Mayans used hundreds of thousands of years ago. And Cholula makes lots of great hot sauces. It has to be a red sauce, either the chili lime or the original red. You can't use like the poblano jalapeno, even though it's magical. It's wrong for this recipe. It's wrong for guacamole. About that much. Now stir. Don't mash. Don't ever do a second mash. Never a second mash. Okay. Now we test it. Use a good quality tortilla chip. Don't use like nasty Don Julio or something like that. The best brand to get is Santitas. Take one chip. Scoop in about a tablespoon. Try it. This doesn't always happen. This is perfect right on the first try. So there you go. That is how you make proper, authentic, correct guacamole. Only do it this way. Don't change anything or you're wrong. This is heaven. Now go eat. All right.